It's not enough. Satisfying emotions and a share between us. Oh, to love is cozy, but I need so much more.
This will be a quick video, not much research. I'm simply here to pose the question, do you think the rapper Stretch death was a hoax? Randy Walker was also known as Stretch. Was a rapper, a part of Live Squad. He joined Tupac in the early 1990s. He was born in Springfield Garden, Queens, on August 21, 1968, in New York City. It is said that Stretch lived with his mother, Lucilda, a native of Jamaica. It is said that on November 30, 1994, of Tupac led to their split. If you're new here, I've already broken down how Tupac getting 5 times was a complete hoax. Links to the chapters are linked below. But allegedly, Tupac learned that Stretch was still doing shows with the Notorious B.I.G. after he had accused him of being involved with the New York shooting. Tupac felt like Stretch had sided with Bad Boy while he was locked up. In a Vibe interview, Tupac went on to insinuate that Stretch never tried to help him during the shooting, which Stretch responded to in another Vibe interview. Tupac sent a letter from jail, and in the letter are the names of all the people he considered his enemies. Stretch's name is the last. Please understand that all of that was scripted. Tupac was giving us clues for future stories to come. In a sense, it's like false flag operations. In other words, certain clues are left to blame a third party, which will play out through decades. Think of it as General Hospital, which is one of the longest running soap operas. 30 years from now they will feed you a new detail concerning the cases relating to Tupac. Just like they did here.
Yeah, we get to the studio, she loves seeing that I'm in the window. Me, personally, only heard one shot.
Here's something I believe could be a possible error in his script. Stretch allegedly dies on November 30, 1995. Tupac recorded a song titled Holla at Me, where it seemed to be a diss to Stretch. He states,
"This goes out to you, man.
For me and you was homies. No one before me, it was all a scheme. You infiltrated my team and sold the nigga dreams. Without your word, you a shell of a man. I lost respect for you niggas, we can never be friends. I let the world know, nigga, you a coward, you can never be live until you die. See the motherfucker bitch in your eyes."
Although he did not mention Stretch's name, he did say you can never be live until you die. Stretch was a part of Live Squad. The problem is, Tupac recorded that song on December 2nd. 1995, which means he recorded it after Stretch alleged death, and he is rapping as if he's alive. If it was pre-written, he could have easily changed a word or two, just like he did on Against All Odds.
And that nigga that was there for me, rested dead. Switch sides, guess his new friends wanted him dead.
Could this be a mistake in the scripted timeline? Supposedly Tupac had a falling out with Stretch over Haitian Jack, and the Quad Studio Keep in mind the fake story is filled with shooting and death predictions. For example, on November 30, 1994, before Tupac was allegedly 5 times, he recorded a song where he says,
"I think niggas is trying to kill me, picturing pistols, spitting hollow points till they drill me."
I'm keeping it real. You can listen to the music and go, whoa. In Outlaw, where I said some dudes in a mask coming to shoot me, I said all of these things and then it happened.
At night, Stretch allegedly died. He is said to have recorded a song with Nas called Silent Murder and Take It in Blood. He was allegedly shot and after that. The Tupac and Stretch were on the same day, a year apart, Lieutenant Spano said. It's weird. But I say this was done for future stories about connecting the shooting to Tupac, and I remember Reggie Wright saying,
Number one, it happened on the anniversary date, the shooting incident at the Quad Studios with Tupac. Happened on that a year to the date. An associate of ours was out there. He came back a day or two later. Pac hugged him like he was Kadada.
But these cops are all in on the lie. A media event that is purposely staged for the media that nonetheless looks spontaneous. But it is theater.
The Walker family is devastated by the loss of rap artist Randy Walker. He was just 27 years old. Walker, known as Stretch, was a member of the group Live Squad.
The story is Stretch had robbed a drug dealer of 10 kilos of coke and refused to return it. Fast forward to a conflicting story on November 30th, 1995. Stretch allegedly dropped off Nas after recording.
Fucking with Stretch from Live Squad, I could've died the same night that Stretch died. I just got out of his rock. He dropped me off and drove to Springfield. November 30th, another Queens King killed.
Or was on his way home after dropping off his brother Chris.
Police say Walker was driving in Hollis, Queens overnight on his way home from his brother's house.
Or on his way to his brother's house. Small details are very important as they can make or break a story. Which one was it? This report says he was later chased by at least 2 men in a black car when he was at least 4 times, crashing his minivan at the corner of 112th Avenue and 209th Street in Queens Village. Let's look at the crime scene.
Police say Walker was driving in Hollis, Queens overnight on his way home from his brother's house when someone in a passing car at him at least 3 times. Walker was only about 3 blocks away from his home right here.
As usual, they have to add 33, the same thing they said with Huey P. Newton.
Newton's body was found before dawn in a pool of blood. Police said he had 3 bullet wounds in the head. Newton's wife's car was just 30 feet away.
Passing car shot at him at least 3 times, 3 blocks away from his home right here. He didn't make it.
I don't know if people think that he was moving up too fast. I don't know.
And maybe a little jealous of his success.
Yes, I think so.
And once again, as I said before, most of these rappers are from parents outside of the United States. They seem to come here and be placed in the mainstream in some form or fashion. So again they say he was being chased. But looking at the car, how is it this damaged? Looking around, the minivan did not hit anything. It looks as if the car was placed there. Now, look at the body. If he was and jumped back in after the car flipped, this makes no sense. I'd love to hear them explain it. I doubt it was Stretch. Let's call it a stunt double. Also, all the glass looks to be broken on the car, but where's the glass on the street? One thing to note is it is not unlikely law enforcement will stage crime scenes. Even academy students practice these things. This accident scene was staged in a parking lot at the school and involved a 2-car collision. Auto body students simply moved 2 cars in need of repair outside. Law enforcement students also practice chaos, noise, confusion, and screaming. It's all in this lesson. No one in his family posted at his tombstone. His burial is listed as unknown. His family member posted a rest in peace cake on her timeline. Only 3 people liked it. No one was ever arrested for Stretch's murder. And no one seemed to care. No justice for Randy. The case goes ignored.
everyone. I'm Diana Williams.
And I'm Bill Ritter. We begin with of a rap music legend. The tonight in a recording studio in Queens, taking the life of the man known as Jam Master Jay.
Police suspected Jam Master Jay's killer was linked to Stretch's. Washington was never officially charged in Stretch's killing. They seem to be keeping it within the entertainment realm. But as we look at the New York unsolved cases, Stretch is nowhere to be found. Probably because it's not a real case. Maybe that's why his brother can't keep the death date the same. In this post he writes, November 28, 95, this is the worst day of my life, till we meet again Randy. Big Stretch. Just a year before he posted, 25 years ago, today was a bad day for me and my family, November 29, 95. Rest easy big bro. But his death is listed as November 30th. Oddly enough, Prodigy of Mobb Deep said Stretch died after Tupac in 1996. Abraham Lincoln once said, "No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Telling lies may lead to confusion, which is what we have here. Lies result from the desire to keep a secret. If there is one lie in a story, does that not make the entire story a lie?" Tupac being robbed shot was a lie, so saying Tupac was mad at Stretch over that situation leaves no other option but to be a lie. They're trying to connect Stretch's death to the Tupac robbery, and that has to be another lie. Which means they selected that date for Stretch's alleged death to mirror Tupac's quad studio incident, all was based on a lie, which brings in the idea that Stretch's death was also a lie. Although a few people seem to show real genuine emotions over the loss, it makes me wonder how many of them are in the know.
He held my mother up, and I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe he's gone.
The mother doesn't seem as affected as the others. I guess it's easier for family members to hold secrets. After all, Majesty and Stretch are blood cousins with one of the outlaws, Young Noble.
One of the members of Tupac's group, the Outlaws, Young Noble, is Majesty's blood cousin. So, though we didn't know it back then, we were all on the same team anyway.
In fact, I recall Tupac saying his group Outlaws are all blood relatives.
You have groups coming out, you produce?
Yeah, the Outlaws.
Oh, really?
I murdered Thug Life and gave birth to the Outlaws, and they all blood relatives.
And I gave birth to the Outlaws, and they all blood relatives.
One of the members of Tupac's group, the Outlaws, Young Noble, is Majesty's blood cousin.
So Tupac is literally blood related to Stretch. Just imagine the people we don't know that are related. I'm sure information is filtered out by assistants, agents, and managers. They place artists here to influence us, give us a real-life soap opera, then remove them. As Mathis said, they influenced you to become who you are, instead of some other person. If you were influenced by them and others like them, to that extent you became a shallow and narrow person, incapable of real conversation or meaningful action. In other words, you became a standard citizen of the world, capable only of slave labor, gross consumption, and scripted response.
You know what I mean? He said that. If I die tonight, he said that.